Good evening, everybody. This is Anonymous Esports playoff action coming right at you. I am Gav Dougie Fresh, casting with
Iwo Gakure, better known as Iwo.
yeah, and we are casting Anonymous Esports Opal versus Striking Vipers High Table. And we are actually jumping into Champ Select real quick.
A very interesting team name there. SVHT doesn't really stand for anything. I'm interested to know why the high table.
Yeah, well, they're Vipers that are striking from a high table. That
is quite terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, a striking Viper to me is terrifying as it is, let alone from a high table.
I think we have some pretty standard bans here so far.
Yep, Darius, top tier, S tier top laner in the current patch with the ghost buffs. Ghost buff, indirect buff to Darius. Elise, strong early game jungler. Got your Veigar, infinite scaling, annoying mage.
Looks like in chat we already have the biggest Morn fanboy in existence.
Which is the jungler for the Striking Vipers high table.
I'm just gonna stick with Striking Vipers. I hope they don't hate me for it.
You know what? I actually kind of, I don't blame you on there. And also, I'm kind of a fan of the team name, as you may know, personally. For those of you who don't know, the game Valorant, also made by Riot. I'm a fan of the character named Viper, so. We see Senna first lock in, very flexible pick from Opal. Then Ash Leona, pretty strong bot lane coming through from the Vipers. And then, the Senna Thresh bot lane after the Volibear also picked up for Opal.
Now, interestingly enough, that's giving Fufu something that we've seen made a huge impact in previous games. Very often drawing a ban out of him. I was a little curious to see if maybe it was a Senna Volibear bot lane, some sort of cheekiness like that, but we'll see what they could do with this Senna Thresh. I know it's become a lot more common nowadays to see Senna farming, but it's not unheard of to still see her be the faster in the lane.
Yeah, it more than likely with the Thresh is going to be the farming Senna, although personally I would love to see a fasting Senna with like an AD Bruiser Thresh, but that's not going to happen.
Definitely not.
As we see some more bans coming in, they're targeting Pure Genesis, the mid laner for the Vipers, with the Cassidon pick, and then we're just hitting mid lane left, right, and center here with all the bans in the second half.
Yeah, I mean that is pretty standard here. You know, taking away a hyper carry pick like Cassidy with some of the setup they've had so far, uh, really good pick out by them.
Ooh, the Bloodlord himself comes in as the Vipers pick. Vladimir as a flex pick, not giving anything away necessarily. Could be top, could be mid. Same with the Volibear though. You have a flex pick, but Opal will show their hand now. You've got the Volibear, could still be a top laner, could be a jungler. Don't think it
Uh,
could be mid.
you say they're going to show their hand, but it's very easy to pick two champions like Volibear and maybe Hecarim that could easily go into both of those lanes. And there's a Wukong that we see could do that same exact thing.
Yeah, I gotta say, if I'm guessing though, I think the Wukong's gonna be top lane, hoping he's into the Vladimir, because I think that might be a. Ooh, the recently buffed Karthus being hovered. I
I like it.
actually do like the pick. I believe it says Defile damage went up. Ah, looks like we're hovering over. And Zoe coming through. Opal trying to emulate Rose Quartz mid laner SGT Hades.
Hades able to do some amazing things on that Zoe. Definitely would have liked to see him come into these playoffs. A little unfortunate that Rose Quartz didn't quite make the cut, getting squeaked out in their tiebreaker finale.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and I believe this is the first round of the playoffs. I could be incorrect, but
As far as I'm aware, it is the week one of the playoffs. I know we had some issues with our title here. We ended up getting it fixed up, and week two is what is displaying. So I could very easily be wrong about that.
yeah, that's very true. Um, I'll go ahead and jump over to the client so we watch the champ select unfold there. Thoughts on the team comp? I do like the bot lane out of both teams, really.
I think bot lane's going to be very pivotal. Obviously, they have a very strong team fight comp, which is pretty easy to pull off from the side of Striking Vipers. But I mean, with the Senna, with the Zoe, with the Wukong, you have honestly a lot of pick potential from the side of Opal, and you have some easily matching scalers. Obviously, Vladimir is scaling very well into the late game, but Senna can start doing some terrifying things too with that infinite soul stacking that in theory will keep buffing her throughout the game. Um,
Yeah.
so I mean, looking at short-term, long-term type of goals and looking less towards team fights, I'm definitely swaying in the side of Opal. But if they get caught out in some of these wombo combos coming from the striking Vipers, it could very easily spell doom. Looking at some of these, potential setups, you have Ash Arrow, Leona ult, Jarvan ult, Vladimir dishing out damage, Maokai keeping him down. So they definitely have a lot of objective control coming out, and are looking to just kind of roam around together.
Yeah, I mean, you did say that there's pick potential on Opal, but I believe with a Ash and Leona and Maokai, they've also the Vipers also have quite a bit of pick potential themselves.
Very true. Well, while we're watching through the rest of these this pick ban phase, did you want to kick us off on maybe some guess the skin?
If I'm gonna go ahead and take my first stab of a guess, it's gonna be Thousand Eye Volibear because it's a free skin, which is always always good, always nice. Well, free if you owned Volibear at the time of his uh rework coming through. Senna, I think we're gonna see the High Noon Senna and the High Noon Thresh. We're gonna have a little bit of Skinnergy in the bot lane. Zoe, I think we're gonna see Star Guardian, but I'd like to see Pool Party. I like the sound effects on that one. And then Wukong, it's gonna be the Lancer Knight, I think is what it's called. The Cyber. I don't know. I know of it as Cyber or Chrono from TFT. That's my guess for Opal. And as far as the Vipers go, I'm gonna go ahead and say probably Victorious Maokai Darkstar Jarvan. I would love to see Nosferatu Vladimir. That's my favorite because of how ugly it is. But it's probably going to be Bloodlord. And then we're going to see probably Cybernetic Ash or whatever. And Mecha Kingdom's Leona are my guesses.
Mecha Leona, eh?
Yeah, I feel like it's just the most popular one.
I'm gonna have to agree with you there. I think Mecha Leona is definitely the pick here. Um, for Volibear, I'm gonna go in a little bit of a different direction. I'm gonna guess that we're gonna have the Luchador El Rayo Volibear, I think it is.
That's one you don't see too often.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb there. Senna. As tempted as I am to say it's gonna be the High Noon synergy, I think we're gonna see a Prestige True Damage Senna.
Oh, okay. You think Asian E-Girl spent that money?
I
Spent that
mean,
money.
with a name like Asian E-Girl, you know he's got to be a simp, so he's got that money to spend.
Yeah, but he doesn't have that money because he's too busy tier 3 subbing to the likes of Pokimane.
True, though. Then I think the Thresh to go along with that is once again not going to be High Noon, but we're going to see the Pulsefire Thresh
Yeah, I only said High Noon Thresh for the Skinergy.
Synergy.
Also,
Absolutely.
I don't know if they ever fixed it, but I know when it first came out, there was a somewhat buff on that skin where the hitbox, like the lollipop of the hook hitbox, was a little bit like off to where you could kind of throw it the way the lasso worked and it would hit. Had like a bigger hitbox in certain areas. I'm sure they probably fixed it by now, but I just remember utilizing that at first. Also, I did just now notice that we have a new mid laner for Opal. Do you know anything about Circlet?
Not at all. No.
Ah, gotta say I cannot root for the got an interesting bot laner here for the Vipers, Mick Trump.
All right, so let's see. I got a minute left here. Let's start rattling some
Oh yeah,
off.
you gotta you gotta.
I think we're gonna have Condom Zoe, aka the new Prestige skin. I
Hey,
think we're
they
gonna
fixed
see.
that. They fixed that.
I think we're gonna see Volcanic Wukong.
Okay.
I think we're gonna see Meowkai.
I would love to. That's my favorite, but I went with my brain, not my heart.
Let's see, Jarvan. I'm gonna come back to Jarvan. Vladimir. Let's see, you went with Bloodlord. Honestly, I find trouble saying anything other than Bloodlord, so I'm gonna agree with you there.
Nosferatu is actually like anytime I play the champion, that's what I run.
I think for Ash, I think we're gonna see Championship Ash.
Championship, solid. Is it gonna the gold chroma or are we going? You know, we're really shooting our shots here. If you're gonna call out the chroma as well.
J4, let's go with Warring Kingdoms.
Okay, solid.
Maybe it'll be Pool Part. No, we're gonna stick with Warring
Pool
Kingdoms.
Party Jarvan did just come out.
True, 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 true. That's why I almost started second guessing myself.
Oof.
Everyone knows the hype over brand new skins.
Yeah.
But I think Warring Kingdoms has always looked very clean.
And
One
it
for
looks
you,
like
one for me, one for you.
ooh, the base skin Warwick. Hex Tech Jarvan, that's interesting.
So
I think
looks
we
like
drew there. Or did I win? Am I up one?
you got a +1 on me.
Okay, +1.
Yeah,
Not bad, not bad.
you got the Volibear and you got the Thresh, and I got the Senna.
Alright.
We both got Vladimir. We both lost on Leona.
See, I really wanted the Nosferatu.
There's what you want, and there's what's actually gonna happen.
But it's just so dang ugly. Alright, I am paused at 0 seconds.
Yeah, let me get back here. Pause. Hey, yeah, count us in.
Alright. And in 3, 2, 1, and go.
It's a very delayed go. I may be like a half second ahead of you.
Well, doesn't matter now. We got a nice pause.
Yikes.
Ooh, looks like he got his new headset. No, no interesting item choices yet so far. Did see a nice Pengu tip in the hat emote coming out of. I did not see who's coming out of, but love the. That's one of my favorite additions to the LCS and professional stream is the allowing of emotes. So allows you to add some spice to the game.
Let's see, do we have anything spicy?
Mm,
Everything looks pretty standard so far. Circlet, importantly, no, opting for the slightly more aggressive electrocute. We could definitely see some different builds on Zoe, but I was actually really enjoying watching Hades pull out the Unsealed Spellbook and
yeah.
and making some unforeseen plays with that. Looks like we got some cheese trying to come out from the side of the Striking Vipers.
Are we seeing? Are we gonna see a season? What was that? Season 6 lane swap here? Lane swap level 1 and double jungle perhaps? Really throw it back?
Very, very interesting.
No, but ooh, Royal Fufu is gonna hopefully walk away, but it looks like he's gonna gray screen to death as the ignite comes down from G-Friend Kinney.
G-Friend Kenny. I don't know if that ignite was completely necessary. Definitely helped secure the kill. Peter out any sort of flash escape that Fufu might have been able to pull off.
Maokai still has not left the bot lane. I don't know if he's RPing as his sapling, but I don't think it's a good idea to give a Wukong early free lane.
And yet, already giving over first blood, if he can really snowball something onto this bot lane, we might see Fufu try and come up a little more aggressive here. And yep, there it goes. He's
I
going to
mean,
flash out.
Flash twisting advance comes through, but it doesn't look like. I mean, you used your heal. The TP does come down. Oh, forcing the flash.
That
E-girl
was a
forcing
very
the
nice
flash out.
flash.
Yeah.
And that's a huge lead coming out of this bot lane so far.
Oh!
Oh! Oh
Oh!
no!
The
That
name
was
could
almost
not have been more
disaster.
true there. That was bad, but Goo on You was awful. As the as the cancel auto attack almost spells disaster for Opal in the early onslaught of the game. The Sleepy Trouble Bubble comes down, the Drowsy comes through, the nice body block coming through from Pure Genesis, but it doesn't matter. As Zoe has more summoner spells than you. The flash comes through on Pure Genesis. No damage comes through, but does the kill still does go through to Genesis.
Yeah, so close. Not able to buy quite enough time to pull off the nice execute.
I still think that all things considered, well, he is going to lose quite a bit of XP here on the wave. But as far as trades go, the fact that you got ganked and you went 1 for 1 is pretty solid. The Volibear has the Roaring Strike come through, the Thunder Strike? Is that what that's called?
That was a big combo, a good chunk of damage coming out of the Volibear. Really
Yeah,
showing that early prowess.
the Volibear E, aka the Sky Splitter, does do percent health damage. So, I mean, it's pretty nice, and it shields him.
Now we saw how much Wukong was able to bully this Maokai once he TP'd back up to the top lane. We'll see if he's able to continue that, or if Maokai's just gonna get some good trades off.
Well, the nice thing is Wukong's kind of setting up a slow push towards him, so that way he can set up to where the Maokai has to overextend to try to trade. But that being said, the sapling in the brush kind of baited the Wukong into the brush, and then the bonus damage on top of it was enough to get the kill. And we've got an early snowball here coming for the Vipers.
Yeah, we're not seeing that huge impact come out of Fufu. It's almost like some of this early positioning from this Striking Vipers team just identified him as an issue and has been able to take care of it.
Beautiful, beautiful play out of the Leona as the hook does come through from Fufu on double warding that lantern, which really did not allow the Senna to get away. Almost netting them the kill.
A little known strategy that some people might be missing out on. You can place a lot of things in the way of the lantern to make it difficult or impossible to click on.
I will say it is not impossible, but rather difficult. You can, which obviously not in the heat of the moment, zoom in and click it. It just makes it a lot more difficult. But the biggest thing from that pressure, besides getting the flash out of Senna, was allowing the Ocean Drake to go over to Morn.
I don't know, man. If I placed 20 wards as a team around a Thresh Lantern, you think you could hit it even if you zoomed in?
I don't think you'd be able to place 20 words
1, 2, 3, 4,
mathematically.
5 plus 15, exactly 20.
Ooh, the ignite comes through, getting a nice solo kill onto the Vladimir there.
Yeah,
Really
showing us
big for the
the
Zoe,
yeah,
especially when she
showing us
has no
the early
AP.
power that Zoe and Vladimir definitely looking to scale a little later on. So any early pressure you're able to apply is ideally what you're looking for. So that 1-for-1 trade earlier, not
Volibear
quite
coming in,
ideal.
the stun comes down, the bite comes through, and it looks like he's gonna trade another kill. The ultimate comes down, nice flash coming out from FG Shadow, ends up trading the kill back onto Goo on you, but that's
That
a
is that is not
borderline
what you
win
want to
on a
do.
Maokai.
Yeah, taking that 1v2 and going 1-for-1.
And forcing the
It's
flash out of
huge.
FG Shadow in order to drop the kill. The
Join
nice
you already making plays happen across the map. Exactly what you want to see coming out of that Maokai, taking some early loss to get his bot lane
creativity.
ahead.
That was, yeah, pure creativity, honestly. The pure, like, I don't think I would have ever thought of that. I mean, would you? I
It's very risky, like you said, but with a coordinated team like this, sometimes you're able to kind of work those things out ahead of time. So definitely a very different experience from your typical solo queue, where
Very
you probably
true.
get flamed for doing that.
Oh, 100%. Taking the XP from the ADC level 1? Come
The
on.
audacity.
How dare you? That's a nice pink ward clear comes through from Circlet. And, despite having 2 kills in lane, I mean, this top lane Wukong is able to zone the Maokai off the creeps relatively safely.
Yeah, Maokai, importantly, not letting his head get too big.
Oof, that
Uh,
burst damage coming through on the Zoe, but go ahead.
still looking for those, small trades here and there, not looking for anything huge in the department of, all ins.
Flash being forced out of Flash and stopwatch being forced out of Leona. Honestly, I gotta say I question the stopwatch use there. Maybe the flash because you thought you could get away initially, but that's a good kill coming through from FG Shadow. Great positioning on the tri brush, pink there to get the easy kill.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen the stopwatch save for a time in a battle where it would have been
And
more
we've got some
impactful.
more trades in the top lane. It looks like, ooh, the flash, nice flash coming out of Wukong. Although Maokai might not be done yet.
Yeah, it looks like Maokai actually flashed after him and was not quite able to catch. I know we missed that on screen here, but we can't see his flash there on cooldown on the right side.
I'm guessing he was trying to get the flash twisting in advance and was just out of range because that is one of the strongest abilities. The real flash comes out of the Zoe, comes down the Volibear jumps in and lays down the damage.
And we were able to see one of those signature Zoe moves. For those of you not familiar with it, you can R backwards and start your Q from a further back position.
And the nice, nice coming through with the flash from Morn, saying, Leona, you're not going to get to me now. I know you don't have flash, but
Yeah, and despite some of that early pressure, some of those early advances that they got with some of those creative plays, we already see Opal pulling themselves back into this. pulling ahead in the gold lead, really getting some of this early pressure, getting, winning lanes. Wukong having a bit of a rough time, but this bot lane recovering extremely well.
Yeah, I mean, as much as, it is a farming center, at the end of the day, she doesn't necessarily need farm, because as long as she's getting souls, but some good trading coming out for this Maokai. He has a Bramble Vest, he has a Bomby Cinder. Until that Bork is finished, he's just going to trade on the Wukong. I mean, it is what it is, but I really liked out of that mid lane gank, the Zoe bought enough time for the Stormbringer to come through from the Volibear, which allowed him to jump in there and lay down the damage onto Morn.
And that did force out the flash in that play earlier from J4. We'll see if that has any repercussions here as they start posturing for Dragon.
Yep, the Cataclysm is coming up on cooldown. We do have teleport out of both top laners.
Not quite. I'm Bad Your Awful is slightly on cooldown now,
Yeah.
but it doesn't look like Striking Vipers is going to try and take advantage of that. Maybe not 100% tracking that cooldown.
Yeah, I think by the time that the fight will break out, both top laners will have the cooldown available. Looks like we've just got some base setting up for this dragon. It's Cloud Drake, not much to say. Ultimate cooldown would be nice on both teams.
And I mean, we talked about both top laners being able to come down, but the amount of pressure currently that Maokai is able to put onto this Wukong, it's actually going to be a lot more difficult for him to get down into that fight. If he can force something like an ultimate out of him, that could be really bad for any oncoming team fights.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing too is if a TP is to happen from either top laner, it's gonna have to be out of vision because both top laners have ample ways to stop the teleport from happening. You see the tandem of FG Shadow and Royal Fufu coming in to clear out this pink, only to be replaced immediately after, and the dragon started up. Maokai is in base, so we do have a free teleport from both top laners available, and they're just gonna shred this dragon down. The Zenith Blade comes through, the ultimate comes down, but luckily the Stormbringer prevents him from being CC'd, wasting the Enchanted Crystal Arrow as FG Shadow gets out.
Yeah,
Well
close
played.
call, some posturing on both sides, but Opal not wanting to overcommit just for that second dragon.
Yep, and we got a big potential Dragon Soul here for this Maokai and the Vipers. If they're able to get a Mountain Soul, that Maokai is going to be a lot harder to kill.
Yeah, I mean, you say that, but at the same time, the same thing could be said from this Opal side. I mean, you have the Senna who is not as tanky because not running the grass build, but adding some tankiness onto that from this Soul, adding it onto the Thresh, adding it onto the Volibear, adding it onto the Wukong, it would help across the board.
The ultimate comes out. Buying time for this Volibear to come do his true... The TP comes through from Genesis. As they walk away, the Flash Hemoplay comes down. The Sanguine Pool comes through. It does not have enough damage on him to kill. Maokai tanks a few turret shots there, but he's got Jarvan to back him up, so they're really fine overall. Bot lane looks like they're rotating up to set up a potential Herald play. And another plate goes down. The Sleepy Trouble Bubble comes onto the Leona, and her health bar is eviscerated. The Ignite's down, but I don't think she's gonna... Oh, she doesn't.
It is enough to kill, and a beautiful Lantern got the Zoe out of any further trouble.
And the Enchanted Crystal Arrow comes down, and Zoe just doing damage. Fufu wanted it. He wanted to go in for that auto attack, but the whole time, I mean, Jarvan is solo killing that Rift Herald there. So while they did lose a couple kills, overall they have potential for a net gain here.
And I mean, you say that, but with tower plating down, it can be very difficult to make really good use of that. We'll see if they're able to do anything like break a tier 2, or maybe apply some pressure after a team fight, or if that's just going to be a wasted objective. That, I mean, it's still an objective, but
I would
not
like
really getting a lot out of it.
Yeah, since the plates are gone, I would like to see it used as a setup for this next dragon in 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. kind of use it as a setup to throw it mid lane, so it has to get dealt with. So then they have a free control over the dragon pit and get that soul point.
Yeah, and ideally getting it top lane here would be nice. You know, apply a lot more pressure up there. With that tower already almost coming down, you have the potential to get in there and maybe even break open an inhib. Whereas the mid tower, it might not break a single tower at all.
Yeah, if they were to use it the way I'm suggesting, it wouldn't be to necessarily get the tower, more like just to get the lane priority for free. The Sleepy Triple Bubble comes down onto the Jarvan, but she's not going to follow through with the Paddle Star because Pure Genesis is just zoning her off. But it's always nice to hit those Sleepy Trouble Bubbles. Another one comes through onto Leona. This time she does go for the damage. Another Ignite comes down. I think that one was a gift from her W passive.
Yeah, and that's just putting the fear of Zoe in them.
And that is what I thought they might do with it. About a minute and 20 seconds early. I think more or less that was to get them to back off the fight there.
Yeah, definitely not losing anything there was very nice for them. We see a pretty standard blue pickup here from Zoe that should aid them in any dragon endeavors that they're looking to maybe pick up their first objective here from the side of Opal.
Yep. Got a nice 3-0 scoreline. Sleepy Trouble Bubble comes down. The camera goes away to watch a pink ward get cleared. Luckily, no other damage was done.
Yeah, Jarvan able to EQ out right before he falls asleep and get out of range with Leona hovering nearby. Definitely a good call by Circlet, not over-committing just for some damage onto the jungler.
Yeah. You don't know where the enemy's at. You know they have vision around this objective, this side of the map. As we see a recall coming in from Ashe, likely resetting for this dragon. A little late, in my opinion. You know, typically you want to be recalling around the 40-second time. Luckily, Opal's not for luckily for Ashe, not in a position to start it right away.
Yeah, and Fufu showing no fear, getting those really deep wards, so they have almost complete knowledge of the movements of this Striking Vipers team as they come in for this dragon.
And it looks like they're going to try to rush. Zoe's zoning beautifully with as the ultimate comes through on the Maokai and the Wukong. The red team steals the dragon. Chemo plate comes down. This is not where you want to have the objective come hit you. Morn falls. FG Shadow just doesn't die as this Maokai presses W over and over, flashes away to get away from the damage coming through. A double kill coming through on I'm Bad You're Awful. Maokai may be tanky, but his time might be over here. Although the flash twisting advance, the knockback comes through. The double kill comes through on Go For You. A triple kill.
Triple kill onto the Maokai.
Mia pings in the Mastery 6 come through on the Maokai. Little BM, but a lot of kills coming through.
I mean, after a long, drawn-out fight like that, where you're on the verge of losing really badly and just clutching out and getting 3 kills, I think he earned himself a little bit of mastery emote there.
Yeah. I will say that a lot of that had to do with the sap magic passive. Spells are getting cast left, right, and center. And
yeah, and a beautiful flash. So basically negating the Thresh Q really started off that play. Some cheeky bush mechanics. Just overall really good positioning on Go For You.
Yeah. That tree is too big to topple for the 3-man squad of Fufu, Shadow, and I'm Bad You're Awful.
Yeah, very very unfortunate steal. Definitely puts Opal in a very precarious situation as now Striking Vipers has this strong soul pressure coming across, and kind of like you were talking about with that Mountain Soul, even one Mountain Dragon, you're going to see this Maokai start to really shred you apart and just not die, and we saw it there in that fight.
Yeah, it looks like we've got how many souls on this? Does it show the souls on the overlay? I was trying to find it. I could not find it. But
so on the overlay, you'll have to select Senna.
Okay.
and then it'll be a
Enchanted Crystal
buff.
Arrow comes wide onto the Zoe. That's, I mean, going to be one of the harder champions to hit with that ability.
It's a very disappointing number of souls. Don't let me spoil it for you.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of to be expected on a farming Senna. Now, not sure what the number is, but I'm sure if it was a fasting variety, the number would probably be doubled.
So any guesses before I spoil it for you?
I'm going to guess 20 minutes in the game. It's a low number. I'm going to guess 50?
29.
Yikes.
Yikes, indeed. That is not what you want to see. But at the same time, remembering everything that has unfortunately been going on in this bot lane definitely makes a lot of sense.
You know, yeah, there gets a soul there. Got a soul there. Twisting Advance
And
comes down.
immediately getting dove.
Yeah, Maokai's didn't just kind of shrugs off that turret damage. That's what happens
Yeah,
when you've got a full on. You got tabbies, you got a bramble vest. He's got his cape. He's not gonna take damage from that.
yeah.
That's a thick
Cur
tree.
Currently with his kill line in this game, that is the new Ornn, as he has become the mage tank assassin.
I don't know. He doesn't do quite as much burst damage, but yeah, he does hurt. That
Maybe
tree is a borderline redwood with how thick he is.
you can say it doesn't do a lot of damage, but that Cinna kind of disappeared on us.
True, true. That bomby cinder damage is still pretty strong. That, it's still a manageable game though overall for for this Opal squad.
Oh, definitely. We've seen really good rotations out of both teams so far. Um, you know, just Opal able to do their best to match the advances, and trying to answer blow for blow, really just losing out on objectives at this point. Kind of like I was talking about, not having quite that same team fight potential. They almost tried to burst down that last dragon and weren't able to
Ooh,
quite
the
squeak
Sleepy
it
Trouble
out.
Bubble comes through, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow comes out, the hook comes onto a melee minion and secures it for the Zoe. Bork comes through, Zenith Blade comes out, the flash comes through onto the Zoe, and she gets deleted. Volibear comes down onto the Ashe, kills her. EQ does not enough to get Morn out. He dies. Flash Flay
Immediately
coming
regretting that
through
E.
after that flash.
And with the hook on Vladimir.
I kind of gave him a little bit of flame on the hook onto the thick boys coming. Can this Maokai get any kills to end this fight? It looks like he's gonna get at least one. I think they have to run away here. The hook may have killed Fufu, but it saved Maokai.
Oh,
That is not the
with
lantern
the
you want to take.
lantern and
Although,
the hook,
although
this may be doom for Goo on you.
Goo on you flashes forward. Godlight coming through. 1 HP. The stun comes down. The sap magic heals him for 1,000,000. The teleport does come through though for I'm bad, you're awful, and finally
Can they kill this man?
this is
The answer I think is no.
oh
Oh,
the shutdown comes through right before the ultimate of the Senna, and holy moly, that tree is thick.
yeah, they took down, raid boss Maokai, but at what cost?
Ooh,
The
Paddle
answer
Star
to that
almost came
cost
through.
is soul.
Oh, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and that Zoe's dead to rights. The Hemo Plague was gonna secure that. Raid boss down. However, when he comes back up, he's gonna be a little bit thicker with that Mountain Soul on him.
Raid boss has hit level 2.
Oof. Yeah, it's that classic video game when you think you beat the boss only for his second form to come up, and the music intensifies as. Looks like the Vipers are gonna get a free Baron here. I don't think there's any way that Opal can contest.
I mean, maybe you have a cheeky steal, but I don't even know if they go for it here. Personally, I think I would just give at this point.
And to comment on the chat, Butter Chicken, Wukong does in fact have a Black Cleaver, so that will hopefully shred down the armor on this tank.
I mean, again, you say tank, but that Wukong, no small amount of damage, but Maokai able to dish it back just as easily, just starting to delete people.
And he didn't even lose the Mountain Soul shield from those turret shots.
That's a yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would akin this to I don't know how many JRPGs you like to play, but one of the most famous mechanics in games like those is you have, the final boss, and then you have the actual final boss.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You have all these extra side quests and everything that lead you to some hidden boss that's infinitely
Yeah, the
harder.
secret
Yeah,
the
this
secret the secret final boss.
he has finally become the secret final boss,
Yeah,
Maokai.
yeah.
They took down the final boss, they're feeling good about themselves, and here comes the secret boss to ruin their day.
You kill the final boss and the credits don't start and you're confused, and that's because you haven't found the secret final boss. Little do they know he's walking down the bot lane currently.
Why is Ash building frozen mallets?
I don't think she's building Frozen Mallet. I don't know what that
It,
Jarm's Fist could be, but oh, I guess yeah, with a Giant's Belt, that is actually confusing. Good question, Butter Chicken. So we see the old knockup, double knockup coming through. The Senna's
I
just
don't,
absolutely deleted by Pure Genesis as they trade back one kill and lose a tower in the top lane. The Sleepy Trouble Bubble comes down, but I don't know if it'll be able to do enough damage. As it still does, I mean, considerable amount, but not Zoe amount of damage.
yeah, and we talked about this raid boss Maokai. He's gonna sit there, absorb damage in 1v5. We didn't talk about this raid boss incoming Vladimir.
I don't know as much of a raid boss, but holy crap, that Maokai just took about 8 tower shots. He is low, don't get me wrong, but
Beautiful bubble onto Ash, but just
yeah,
unable to get in there to secure anything.
yeah. I guess at this point, to try to rationalize the Ash that looks like she's building a frozen mallet is that she is not the carry. The carry on this team is the Maokai. Everybody else on the team is just fodder that can be thrown away at any given point to allow this Maokai to do what he wants to do.
But I don't say this very often, but Butter Chicken has a very good point. Why the frozen mallet? To me, if you're gonna go support Ash, just go all in on it. Go for the full CD build where you're just ulting left and right. Fully support this Vladimir carry.
Yeah, finishes the frozen mallet. Interesting synergy when she pretty much has a frozen mallet built into her passive. But, you know, it's always the correct build when you're on the winning side, right? As we see more the scuttle going down in the mid lane towards this Vipers team as they're set up for this Elder Drake in a minute 40. And I gotta say, that's honestly the only chance that Opal's gonna have to get back into this game, it appears.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, forego some of that healing off Maokai by getting the ability to instantly delete him off the map.
You do have to get him to a certain health threshold, and I think the only way that happens is if he tanks another 8 tower shot.
Yeah, but I would call that Elder Dragon your, normal up, up, down, down, left, right, B, and then A.
Yeah, Contra code. You know it, you love it. That is one fast and fed bear, I will say. He should be able, with the Righteous Glory and Deadman's, be able to get into this back line.
Interesting that Zoe chose to put the bear to sleep.
But it did not appear to work. So we see
Yeah,
a little bit of a
the
lull state here.
bear's not sleepy.
A little bit of a lull state as Vipers are pretty much just going to start shoving lanes and trying to get vision for the objective. And Opal's best chance right now is to just soak the waves that are coming to them to try to get some gold.
I hesitate to look at the number of souls right now, but we're going to take another peek.
I'm going to stick with my first guess and say 50 now.
We're at 54.
Dang, I was
We did
close.
it, boys.
We did it. Woo!
Sleepy Bubble Trouble doing absolutely nothing to Meowkai.
Yeah, I mean, Maokai can afford to take a nap or 4 before he really starts to feel that damage come through. And Vladimir's just minding his own business, pushing in the top lane. Not very many people can stop him. Looks like Wukong's going to try to back in order to do so. The pink ward is keeping the vision away from this Opal squad as they go in. The Sleepy Trouble Bubble comes down onto the Ashe, but not going to be able to follow through the damage. Stormbringer comes down. They start putting damage into this wall that is the Maokai and Leona. Leona comes down with the damage. She falls asleep. Hook comes through onto the Ashe. Nice hook. We see some kills coming through on the side of Opal, but at the end of the day, it looks like the Bash Bros of Jarvan and Maokai pull this fight through for the side of the Vipers, and it goes 2 for 5, and a
There's
surrender comes
yeah,
through.
and that's exactly what we were talking about, where they were posturing, looking for a flank, but they almost pulled the trigger too early. But you can't afford to sit on that elder buff for too long. And just ended up going straight for that team fight that you almost can't against that comp. You're looking more for picks, you're looking more for maybe a little bit more scaling, maybe a little bit, you're a little bit behind already. They have soul. You got your top pushing in from Vladimir split pushing, and uh, you know, just took a fight that they could not win.
Yep, I mean, honestly, it was great level 1 strategy coming out of the Vipers with that Maokai and with that little bit of cheese. We'll call it a little bit of cheese. Coming through with that Maokai level 1 in the middle lane, or not middle lane, in the middle brush of the bot lane. But overall, let's take a look at some of that damage charts, because I'm actually interested to see how much damage Maokai does. Did in fact do the most damage in the game. 26,000 damage coming through in a 30-minute game from a Maokai. Shows why he was 11-3.
Terrifying.
Honestly, that tree was a big tree.
Well, I know we're already posturing to jump into this next pro draft. But I don't know about you, but I'm gonna take a short break.
Yeah, you go ahead and I think that sounds good. I'm gonna go ahead and get the setup going, and we will go between games here. And we are back. I'm going to go ahead and jump into Champ Select. We're a little bit behind. Took me a minute to find my water bottle.
Yeah, and interesting opting to ban the Zoe this game over the Oriana, so definitely fearing what came out of the side of Opal last time and putting some respect on the name of Circlet. Now, I don't know if this is a ordering issue in lobby, I would imagine it is, but currently our LCS order of our Opal team has Circlet in the jungle and FG Shadow in the mid lane.
I mean, FG
That'd be
Shadow has played mid lane, so that
that'd
is
be spicy if it was true.
big,
We shall see.
big if true. As we see some of the similar picks coming through from the side of Striking Vipers, they did elect for the Senna this round, which that could be a Senna Maokai bot lane with the fasting Senna. Definitely a possibility. And then on the side of Opal, we see that Volibear coming back in for the jungle, possibly Circlet, if that order is correct. And the Ashe coming through, top tier ADC.
Once again, opting for a very flexible draft. Obviously, Ashe support a little less viable than it used to be, but still potential. So in theory, we could see a set mid, Volibear top, and Ashe support currently.
You could also see a set top or a set jungle, or a Volibear jungle as
Or
well.
set support.
Or set support. Not, I guess I don't know how it works with an Ashe. Typically, you see it with. I guess it's probably not terrible.
But we do see the Thresh coming out, still not putting respect on Fufu. And after last game, it was
Wait, apparently
actually,
that is a Nautilus.
interesting.
Just, straight up, I think it's just instinct for him to lock in the Fizz. Or not the Fizz, sorry, Fizz was the ban. The Thresh, to lock in the Thresh.
Yeah.
It's just instinct,
Oh, your one trick is open? Let me just hover it.
Let me
You
hold
wanted
that.
the other hook champion.
Oh, the other hook champion that has an underwater skin line. As the Vladimir comes through again, and it looks like it's going to be the Maokai bottom with the fasting Senna. Or, I mean, I guess technically it could be Renekton farming, but I feel like that's going to have a little bit harder time to farm. And the Azir coming through for FG Shadow, it looks like. And they said they're ready, and they haven't moved around, so Circlet looks like he's going to be piloting the Volibear in the jungle this time. Hopefully he took some notes from FG Shadow. Despite how that game went, he did pilot the champion quite well.
We did have our 80 carries swapping champions this game, so we'll see if on the side Mick Trump can show them how it's done. Maybe get more than 20 souls in 30 minutes.
Well, I think that'll be easy, considering it's more than likely going to be a fasting Senna game. And we'll know pretty well on into, pretty quickly into the game. End of the line, Graves says. Gotta respect Circlet and for not running any clan tag, trying to keep that clean summoner name. Same with Pure Genesis. As Renekton, I feel like Renekton's such a bait pick anymore. And it looks like Azir. So I think they just ordered incorrectly, because Azir gets picked up by Circlet, and Volibear gets picked by FG Shadow. I think they just tried to. Yeah, they tried to bait and switch us. They played with our hearts, and honestly, it's kind of rude.
I don't know if I'm gonna change up many of my skin picks for this game.
I mean, obviously, I think the same champions will have the same, or the same people playing the same champions. So we're gonna see the same Volibear skin. We're gonna see the same Jarvan skin in the Vladimir.
And the Maokai.
And different player. That's what, same with that's a Senna. So different Senna, different Senna, different Ashe.
I'm gonna stick with the same Senna skin, I think.
I
I
like
think
that
for
High
this
Noon
one,
Ash. I think
I
I'm
was
gonna go
say I
High
think
Noon
for this
Ash.
one we are going to see the Skinergy, so I'm gonna go with your pick from both this time and
It's not a
agree on High
Thresh.
Noon.
Not a Thresh though. Remember, it is a Nautilus.
Oh, you're right, it is a Nautilus. I forgot.
So, do they have matching? Conqueror Ash, isn't that a thing?
Championship?
But there's no championship Nautilus.
You're right. I'm thinking Thresh again.
Okay. So
Oh my gosh.
so
Um,
so Misty posted a Christmas tree in the chat. Made me think of a perfect Nautilus skin, a naughty list skin, where he's like, Christmassy. I don't know how you would make it other than just the pun. Just have him like have a bunch of
he's he,
coal.
he'd have to have like lights hung on him, but like maybe he has like a sack of coal instead of his anchor.
Okay. I got it. I got it. Yeah, sack of coal. So it's like the Grinch when he stole, like he like ransacked Whoville. So like
Okay.
that's why he's naughty. He's on the naughty list because he ransacked the Who village. You can make some of the like you can make a Zoe skin where she's like a Who. No, Ricky Salsa, I will not stop.
Why not just go full on and take Nautilus's whole suit off and just turn him into the Grinch?
But that's way less fun. You're honestly, Misty, you started it. That's all I'm gonna say. You posted the Christmas tree in the chat, and it started a light bulb in my brain. So I think we're gonna see the World Breaker Nautilus skin. Maokai, I think we're gonna see the Meowkai. I think we're gonna see High Noon out of both 80 carries. Azir, I think we're just gonna see the Grave Lord, and then hopefully no skin on the. Well, why are you spam pinging a tree for the other team, Misty?
So I'm going to stick with my guns. I'm gonna go with Championship Ash. I love the new cape on it.
Are
I
you
think High
gonna
Noon is.
are
I
you
think
gonna
High Noon's
double down?
overrated.
Are you gonna double down with the gold chroma?
No chroma.
You get
I
2 points though. I'll give you 2 points if you call it and get it, but you
but
get no
my
points.
call is no chroma, so I'll double down on
That's
that.
not double down. That's not doubling down though. It's
If
more
it's a chroma,
common.
I lose. I don't get the point.
But that's more common. So I was saying the double down works because it's less common to have that gold chroma.
Well, I think it's gonna be no chroma, so I'm not gonna go for the gold. Um,
Literally.
obviously Vlad, Jarvan, Maokai, sticking with the same ones as last, or Vlad, Jarvan, sticking with the same ones. Maokai, I'm gonna go with Meowkai
I
again.
agree with you on that. Renekton, I would like to see pool party because that spam recall is one of my favorite things, favorite BM things. But it's probably gonna be the Hex Tech to
Uh,
match the Jarvan.
Let me ask, are you going for High Noon Senna again, as opposed
I'm
to my
saying high noon.
Prestige?
I'm saying high noon on both 80 carries. Yes.
I'm going with my same picks: Prestige, Senna, Championship Ash, even though it's swapped.
Please,
Uh,
please let me be right and say it's a base skin set because if
it
not, I hate that skin. I
I'm
honestly
a
hate it.
I'm gonna go for base skin instead. I'm gonna go for Galactic Azir.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go with Astronautilus, and I will say that he's gonna have the chroma from the event.
Okay. This is like it wasn't it like a deep space chroma or something?
Yeah, it was like a dark
Like a
shade.
dark, yeah, like a darkish purpley,
It had a
almost like a deep space black kind of.
The best part of it though is that it has a face on the helmet.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah,
I need to see this.
it's great. I liked it. I opted for the prestige points as opposed to that chroma. I don't regret it at all, but
I
a
mean,
little bit, a little bit.
as a support main, I don't blame you. Like as you being a support main, I don't blame you for having that. So, looks like
Oh,
we're about to.
I don't have it. I
Oh,
opted
I
for
thought
the
you said you.
prestige points instead, so I could get
Oh,
a condom Zoe.
yeah. Honestly, that is one of the biggest blunders I've ever seen. Like, come on, Riot. You had to have seen that before it got pointed out. And it looks like base. It looks like I got the Ash skin correct. What? Not you said Astronautilus, so no, none of us got that. Ooh, we got a quick load in screen here.
Yeah, so it looks like it's a 1-0 in favor of you.
So that
If we
look.
have a game three, I'll have to pull it out hard to beat you.
Yep, and I'm gonna have to pause and reset back to 0. And you go ahead and count us in this time, Iowa.
All right, three, two, a one, go.
And it does appear my suspicions were confirmed. It is a fasting Senna. Not really surprised, paired with the Maokai. It's one of the better matchups for the
Oh, very
fasting
very
Senna.
true. I did not doubt
Ooh,
that
does
uh, for a second.
does have some interesting spell. We do have some interesting spell choices coming out of Goo on You. The Ignite Renekton, the solo Q special. I'm gonna kill you in lane, and you're gonna hate your life. Is basically.
Honestly, I think that's the play. Renekton to me can be very feast or famine, especially into someone like Zed. So you want to get ahead early to stay on top of it, push a lead. I know you have the Vladimir scaling, the Senna scaling, so you have to be a dominant threat early on to really hold the line.
Looks some good damage coming through onto G friend Kinney. Kiney? Kinney? I'm sticking with Kinney.
Getting very brazen. Most of this team, just kind of walking towards them, looking for maybe the same sort of pick or vision that they got last game, but not really finding it.
Yeah.
Definitely putting respect on the Nautilus early game.
I got you, Hades. My bad. I did forget to switch the Volibear and the Azir. Although I would like to see an Azir jungle one of these days. I'm not sure. As neither a connoisseur for or not a connoisseur, it looks like we have a nice. I'll hold that thought as we. Looks like we have a nice collapse level 2 red buff gank coming onto the, as we see onto the Vladimirs. We see multiple flashes coming through. The ignite coming down, and does not get a kill. That warmed up turret almost decimates Circlet.
Yeah, looking for some payback with the cheekiness from the previous game and not quite finding it. Burning a lot too. That could really cost them not finding something there.
Yeah, you had double flash coming out of FG Shadow and Royal. The ignite coming down only for the flash of the Vladimir, and he didn't even TP back to lane. He didn't even recall, did he? He just kind of
No, he's just gonna heal up
chugged.
against the non-existent early pressure of Azir.
He kind of opened up the top on that refill and chugged away. And now he's back to close to full health if he can just press Q a couple more times. We see the Mia or the question mark pings coming down as they Set suspects that Jarvan's in his back pocket. He is doing the Krugs. Volibear really has no way to fight that early. Looks like he's gonna go for wolves straight into the bot lane scuttle.
And Ash definitely getting punished early for that three-man collapse mid lane, but we already see Circlet potentially roaming down. Maybe they can get something here if they continue this line of aggression here in the bot lane.
But the side Opal doesn't really the EQ comes down and first blood comes through onto the set. I was saying like yeah, Azir was walking down. It did get pinged out, but they didn't really have a wave set up properly for it. Oh no, please don't tell me this is the Dyrus TP. Oh no. Oh, okay, does trade one back. The Conquer comes through, the level up comes down. He's trading back. The EQ comes out to get Morn away.
So he did indeed trade back, has the wave in a pretty good position, bully J4 out, so
Yeah.
definitely could have been bad there.
And back to the bot lane point. Like, it was a great idea. There just wasn't the wave set up from the side of Opal because with the lack of summoners, Nautilus cannot really afford to step up and get twisting advanced on by this Maokai. See, the wave's pushed in now. If the gank was coming, it'd be a little bit of a more scary gank. But we see just a couple resets. A nice reset after that trade back kill onto Set does get that Vamp Scepter, will allow him to sustain in lane. As we just see, even farm in the bot lane between the Maokai and the Ashe. A little bit of a lead out of the Renekton. The hook comes through, the trade's coming out, the auto damage coming through, and it looks like Royal Fufu is going to get saved by Asian Eagle's hook, or heal rather. Oh, the nice Spider-Man hook saving him. For now, the Ignite comes down, the Flash comes through. Royal Fufu trades a kill. The TP coming from the Azir, hopefully looking to save, but Ashe will fall. The Senna gets traded back, and overall a 2 for 2.
Yeah, that did end up a 2 for 2. I mean, Ashe definitely stalling for a lot of time. Nautilus pulling under tower was very big. They burned a lot of summoners from this spot lane to ultimately just go 2 for 2 for that teleport coming out of Azir.
Yeah, and as long as Set doesn't get dove and die again here, and we can get the Ocean Drake out of Opal, not a bad trade. But it looks like he's trying to push the wave for level 6. The Facebreaker comes through, gets the stun down. Turret Shot comes through, trades another kill back as the Jarvan gets the kill credit onto the Set. I mean, that's about as good as you can hope to do.
Yeah, I mean,
in that situation,
not as good as you could hope to do. You could definitely hope to kill both of them.
Okay, I mean,
but
you're level 5. You hadn't even hit 6 yet. As the Set, you just got flash up. I don't think he had flash during that altercation, because otherwise he might have flashed right away. You get EQ knocked up. Yeah, that's right. As the fight comes down in the bot lane, I'll finish that point here in a second. As FG Shadow narrowly avoids death, and the Ashe
and the
going
hook
to get another kill. Yeah,
it should get FG Shadow out of there.
Double kill comes down as it looks like Hemo Plague was used mid lane onto the Azir. And if we've got a second, Azir having a false sense of security while Jarvan's sitting on the enemy team's chickens, potentially coming in for an EQ. Azir is shading towards the Volibear on the bot lane as we see a little bit of trade comes. The Ignite comes down. The shield, the Unstoppable comes through. The shield comes down. The true damage is enough. The flash and
the kill coming onto Set despite the Ignite. That is not what you want to see from the side of this Renekton.
No, yeah, I was. Thank you for bringing that highlighted message. I was trying to get to that point. Part of the reason those dives are so good is because the Renekton W, I think it was towards the beginning of this season, was changed to destroy shields, which is part of the reason you pick it in the Set. You wait for him to press W, and then you destroy that big beefy shield he's got, and that's why the dives are so effective. But
you could say that, but that W, when charged up, still does a lot of damage.
It does do damage, but the whole
taking
the shield away is huge.
Very big. Yep.
But yeah, it looks like, I mean, despite the early not necessarily blunders, but the early deficits, Opal's really kind of pulled it back to this bot lane. And Set with the solo kill really was big. I like the early executioners coming down. Renekton's a champion, especially with the Bork build that likes to heal up. Any way you can mitigate that. Also having it for the Vladimir later.
Ooh, I will say that McTrump has already passed the point that looking for Asian Eater will hit in souls at 30 minutes. And we're almost at 9 minutes.
Oh, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow comes down. The flash snare comes through. The Ignite goes down. The Twisted Advance into the stun. I guess he's doing that to potentially save the Senna. Please don't tell me the heal comes down. Can he get the volley comes through, the Twisted Advance? You don't do as much damage as the Maokai from last game.
Yeah, not quite there yet.
No, Misty, to your point, it does do well in lane against Set, but in my opinion, you're only picking it for lane. As far as team comps are concerned, I think you could pick a better team fighter, but why if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They go back to the top lane with this Herald, and it looks like they're gonna get first tower onto the Renekton.
Yeah, I mean, just pressure up top for days, getting this Renekton as ahead as possible,
But
but
at what
really getting
cost?
punished for it across the map.
As the ultimate comes out of the Senna just to delay the inevitable, we get more and more kills onto Asian Negro. The stopwatch coming down. I'm not sure why that happened. Well, Misty, you may be here for the trees, but this game Ash is cutting them down.
I'm just here for the show. I'm just here for the Christmas.
For the it
I'm
it
just
is
here for the
Christmas.
lights.
It is in 3 days. It will be Christmas in July. So
You just want to watch the Meowkai? I don't know. There is the Christmas tree Meowkai.
yeah, that is true. That is a great. Honestly, most Maokai skins are pretty solid. Except for the, in my opinion, except for the one he's using. I don't like Totem Maokai at all.
I actually don't mind Totem Maokai. I dislike the World Breaker one.
Isn't that the one that super secret raid boss Maokai was using last game? I believe.
Yeah, I think it's kind of gross.
Yeah, it like rounds his features off. As we looks like we got some nice setup coming out of the Vipers. For this dragon, Jarvan and Renekton figured out that there is another lane other than top in this game, and they're going to use their advantage to get a free Mountain Drake. The Enchanted Crusader comes out on the Maokai.
We have TP in from
sorry,
Set.
no, Renekton. TP in from Set. Coming down. The shutdown comes through onto Volibear. Azir is allowed to just stand in the backline. The showstopper comes down. Kills the Vladimir. The auto attacks keep coming through. The stopwatch does stop the face breaker. And it looks like Azir and Set are going to clean up here. If he can land the W, nice flash out of the Senna there. And that was a
Beautiful
pretty was a pretty messy team fight. Vipers did pick up the Infernal Drake, but kind of like what they've been doing on the bot half of the whole game. At what cost?
Our fanboy of Morn has gone silent, but
Yeah,
Morn actually doing quite better this game. Maybe some questionable decisions,
yeah.
choosing
Well,
to solely focus on the top lane, but
Morn
working out well so far.
Morn is pretending it's season 5 and the enemy team is Dyrus and just diving the tower on repeat.
And I mean, I understand, stay away from losing lanes, but there comes a point where maybe you should have visited mid a few times, maybe contest some of the it's probably good that they did pick up that dragon there, but even that was a little close for comfort.
Yeah, more so, honestly, more so to keep it away from this Azir Set and Ash, honestly. It looks like we've got another Mountain Soul coming down the pipeline. Oof.
That's another one that's big on both sides.
Oh, the EQ comes down. It looks like the Stormbringer's going to come through. The ultimate from the Senna's going to net the kill, but we get a trade back onto the Ash. Trade of 80 carries comes down on the kills. Or sorry, 80 carry for jungler. And it looks like Opal will be able to escape with their lives there. Renekton is in a flank position. The Facebreaker comes down. Maokai gets destroyed. The Unstoppable comes through. As Set gets away.
A beautiful play.
The
by
Sharima
Set,
Shuffle
great
comes
positioning.
through onto the Renekton, forcing the flash away. The Ignite comes down. Renekton gets a shutdown onto Azir. And what was a good fight for Opal looks like it's turning sour until the Volibear decides to show up.
You say until the Volibear decides to show up, but that Facebreaker by Set was game changing.
No, I agree. I thought for a second that we were gonna see a repeat from Goo on You from the last game where he just turned fights, but you're not a ultra fed Maokai this time, buddy.
Indeed.
Yeah, I think more than the face breaker, that showstopper onto the Vladimir, which allowed Set to live. Otherwise, he surely would have died. I think was the key part of that fight.
Yeah, and I started talking about his positioning there, where he picked up one kill, and it was almost like he was gonna die, and then just the ultimate into the tower, running out of that, like barely squeaking by, and then able to run back in and clean up, taking Senna basically out of the fight with that face breaker, stalling the Renekton from doing any further damage, just tore apart any potential to come back in that fight.
Yeah. I gotta ask you a question, Iowa. Are you a little questionable on the first lethality item out of Senna as I am? Granted, the spell shield is nice, but it is not that vision control Umbral Glaive that I thought was standard first on almost every Senna.
So, looking at how this team plays, they like to fight. They like to fight a lot. And while vision can be very important, you can control vision in many ways, and you can pick that up a little later, especially when you've been conceding some of the map up until now. I think avoiding getting picked out by something like a Nautilus hook, potentially a Shurima shuffle, maybe avoiding an Ash arrow or a set ability, could definitely be very valuable coming in from this first lethality item.
It looks like we got some more highlighted out of Wekarn saying he thinks the ideal Senna way for this game would have been Grasp with the Frozen Fist. I kind of think I agree with that. She needs, yep, she
Yeah,
does need that
so
tankiness, and also
my
that would allow, yeah.
my opinion on the Senna build on when you go Glacial versus when you go Grasp
As we
is
see
your
the,
matchup.
Rift Herald coming down, the flash twisting advance, the Cataclysm comes down. We get the shutdown onto the Volibear. The Zir turret gets placed down and just starts shredding this Viper squad and making them regret going in for that dive. As we see a 1-for-1 trade of junglers between the squads, but I gotta say that's probably a pretty beneficial for fight there for or outcome for Opal, seeing as how they got engaged on pretty hard and only lost one.
Yeah, so Misty, I do agree with that. I do see Grasp a lot more in the current meta of a lot of things like Nautilus, anything tanky. Um, I think the Grasp is better because you're constantly proccing it against something where you just want to focus on those souls. Maybe the team isn't as tanky. You may have just a lot of carries. Like yeah, that tankiness is nice, so you are able to survive a one tap. But at the same time, Glacial, you're just gonna start proccing those souls a lot easier,
And it's
especially in lane.
a bit more
So if you have
harass
a
as well.
if you have a lane where you can really take advantage of that, in my opinion, like any sort of enchanter is typically where you want to do that because you're not getting nearly as many grasp procs. Um,
Yeah.
you're just gonna have such a slow gameplay. It just takes a lot out of it. So that's my opinion on it. If you're in a tanky harass matchup where you're gonna get souls anyways, go grasp. If you're in that enchanter matchup where you might have a little bit more difficulty getting souls, you need that slow. You maybe want to build a little bit more damage. That's where you're gonna want to go that glacial.
Well, yeah, you also typically see Grasp on the fasting because, like you said, she's going to be getting souls anyway from the farm that she's not collecting. So getting the Grasp procs and getting yourself more stats is actually
Yeah,
your.
especially into a lane like this where you don't want to step up too far and maybe constantly
Mm-hmm.
proc. 'Cause you have to be aware of the Nautilus hook and not overcommit.
Yep, and Wekarn's kind of saying what we were saying, agreeing with us there. Grasp tends to be a lot stronger when you go support because you don't have to, or you have to trade in lane to get strong. Whereas ADC Senna doesn't care about trading as much, so you get away with Glacial. It's kind of, the way I interpret that is echoing the sentiment we has. The Sanguine Pools forced out after the Blade of the Rune King was used from the Vladimir.
Not
As we
just
see.
not just Bork, but you also had the missed face breaker.
Well, yeah, the Bork with the movement speed caused him to go into the Sanguine, which forced the miss fake face breaker. But I gotta say, I don't know if I like that Maokai landing solo against that Azir. That's not gonna turn out for him very well if he continues to solo land that. The Facebreaker
Yeah,
comes through, gets the stun down. Sanguine Pool comes through.
yeah, and that's another matchup that can be very hard. You have a lot of places where you need to use that pull. You miss it once or twice, and you're gonna take a lot of
And
damage. We saw that right there.
we got an RP coming from Kinney of his top laner, getting a 4-man dove in the top lane.
Yeah, getting a taste of his own medicine.
Getting a taste of what Guan Yu was doing to the other team.
Except not quite able to do the same thing.
Yeah, not able to trade it back like Tyler, aka I'm Bad You're Awful, has been able to do. We see another turret, and this Opal squad's built up a small a quiet 5,000 gold lead. They're just superior team fighting, I would say.
Yeah, just slowly but surely snowballing this. Definitely not 100% won yet, but starting to continue to solidify that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and check the gold leads here. It looks like we have a almost 3,000 gold lead on this Azir, who's 5-1. Bot lane, you're gonna have a gold difference because it's a fasting Senna. Pretty much even in the top lane, which is really good considering how hard the set was dove. And even in the jungle, so most of this gold lead is coming through from the Ashe, Nautilus, and Azir.
Yeah, and importantly, we actually have gold favor in favor of Set currently, despite all of that early pressure top.
Yeah.
Just not able to transition that into anything that is showing up now in these team fights.
Yeah, and Buttered Chicken saying he saw a Manamune Jin the other day. Well, I'm not surprised. Sneaky pretty much did an analysis and found that Manamune is beneficial to build on, I think, every AD carry, but Caitlyn, I think, might have been the one that wasn't, like, optimal to build on her. As we see a top lane fight coming through, and the showstopper stops the show for Guan Yu. You are not an 11-3 Maokai this game. You cannot fight this set anymore. You do not have the Jarvan. Thank you, come again.
And that was despite a Sita ult there as well.
And Cheta Crisolero comes down and barely misses. Field goal is good. 3 points for Ashe.
Now you say barely misses, but importantly we do have that Edge of Night. So even if it had managed to hit that Senna there, we would have seen exactly what I was talking about, where you're gonna avoid any sort of bad positioning mistakes with that item pickup.
And it looks like we're getting another Dragon and Soul Point onto the red team, as Vipers looked like they wanted to chase down Set, but he was privy to it with that deep pink ward and just kind of walks away.
Yeah, and maybe the big brain give of the Infernal Dragon over to Striking Vipers is they're setting up for a 3 Mountain Soul.
Well, I don't know if I'd say it was a give. It was that, if you remember, that was a pretty heavily contested objective. The Facebreaker comes through, gets the stun on the shopping Vladimir. The Nautilus ultimate comes down, forcing the flash out. Stun comes down. Ignite goes through. Renekton's dead again.
I don't know how much you saw of it, but an interesting choice by Circlet to tank like 3 or 4 tower shots there in the bot lane.
I did notice that. Yeah, that's what we call the big brain bait. The EQ gets... The flash EQ comes through, does not knock anyone up. The Cataclysm comes down onto Ashe with no follow-up from the side. The Showstopper comes down again. The Facebreaker stops the damage for now. Buys time, allows them to hit the inhib turret. I really think that was the goal of that mission. I don't think he thought he was coming out alive, but I've seen crazier things.
Definitely thought maybe he could have picked up a kill though.
Well, Buttered Chicken, if you did truly motivate Tyler this morning with the Tryndamere, why didn't it work in the first game?
Yeah, I mean, why don't we see the Tryndamere coming out? That's the real question.
Yeah. Wekarn, again with the highlighted message. Interesting build from the Azir with the Morello second, having 2 grievous wounds already with 4 versus 4 tanks. You know, LS probably is rolling in his grave a little bit, seeing the Morellonomicon ever being built, let alone on an Azir second item. I do kind of agree with you there. You've got two executioners already on your team. Sit on that Oblivion Orb, maybe finish your Luden's Echo first, but at this point, he's 5-1, kind of fed, getting away with a lot. As we see, the Baron started up here. I think the Vipers know, but I don't think they can do anything about it.
Yeah,
Nautilus is standing there, bodyguarding like he's the bouncer to a club.
this is the exact opposite of what we saw last game.
Oof. Although they get the Baron, they might lose the team fight afterwards as a lot of damage comes down. We get 2 kills traded back. Can we make it 3 kills, 3 Barons wiped off the map as Opal is running for the hills trying to get the recall off.
Yeah, and right as I was saying, it's the exact opposite of last game. They decided to go ahead and pull the trigger, go in on that fight, and were able to turn it into a slight net positive for them. Uh, looking for any opportunity to get back in this game. A lot of these higher elo teams are very good at, finding those small windows of opportunity and shooting their shot, and that's what we saw there from the Striking Vipers.
Yeah,
And they were able to come out ahead there despite losing the Baron.
and I would have almost liked to see a disengage because the Vipers really showed their ability to team fight around objectives with the Cataclysm and the Vladimir and the Maokai. The Maokai farming, obviously, is not as fed as the one from last game. We've iterated that about a million times, but he still does damage. You've got AOE between from the Vladimir, and it's in a tightly wound area, very small area. That's the way that team wants to fight.
Now, any guesses on the number of souls currently on this Senate?
I'm gonna guess we're gonna take a gentleman's 84.
We're currently sitting at 90 even.
Ah, dang, I was close both times on my.
Big dragon fight coming up here.
Yeah, big dragon fight. It is the soul for the side of Opal. I think more importantly, you want to take it away and not allow any extra tank stats over to the Maokai and Jarvan.
I'm just give a shout out in chat real quick. I'm gonna have to agree with Hades. Jerry would be playing Karthus, and as such, I believe Steve is the better AD carry.
As we see some fights rolling out, the showstopper on the Maokai getting himself out. The Blast Cone, the Stormbringer,
And
Volibear taking all the damage.
Backline.
The beautiful Shurima, the ultimate coming through onto the Azir, knocking them out of the Cataclysm. The Senna flashes forward to get the kill, but then eventually dies to the Azir, who's got a nice front line in front of him, allowing him to just plow through the team with the Sand Soldiers. I think they should be trying to get Morn out and maybe going for the dragon here. Hopefully Royal Fufu can fend off a potential steal, as we do have Smite on Morn. Gets spotted by the ward. And the Dragon Soul goes the way of Circlet.
Yeah, a big pickup. We'll see if they're able to put as much pressure as we saw last game with that coming up. Definitely opens up the potential for the big elder plays here in a few minutes.
And Circlet's truly a librarian this game, as he holds 3 books in his inventory. It's got both the favorite and least favorite books of LS, and the Morellonomicon and the Medjai's. 17 stacks. That's quite a bit of damage. Bonus damage on that.
Miss, I'm gonna have to disagree with that. I don't think it's risk reward. I think it definitely has high end payoff. But I mean, even in a team fight, you pick up 1 kill, maybe 1.5 kills with an assist, and you're already netting a lot of AP off that.
I think it isn't
Uh,
it like only like a handful of stacks for it to be actually gold efficient.
yeah,
Because obviously the base item without any stacks is not gold efficient, which is the whole shtick of the item. But I don't know exactly how many stacks. I'm not a mathematician, but I know 10 stacks is where it starts to turn on and becomes extremely gold efficient. But as far as overall, I'm not exactly sure.
yeah. I think it's like 7 stacks where it's gold efficient, something like that. And obviously
So
10
that's
being ideal, 10 plus. Um,
so that's what
and
two
and
kills and
honestly,
assists.
two no 2 kills will get you there, right?
It's two, isn't it? Two stacks per, so that'd be four.
4 per kill, 2 per assist.
Oh, so yeah,
Or
two kills. Two kills
it's
in a team fight.
so when it's not upgraded to Medjai's, it's 2 per kill, 1 per assist. Once you upgrade
Yeah,
it,
okay,
4-2.
gotcha. So yeah, two kills and you're sitting at gold efficient item. It's
I'm
super
so
cheap.
I'm so proud of myself that Wekarn just
Confirmed your,
agreed with
yeah,
me that it's 7.
but the message wasn't highlighted, so
I
I
might
don't
I
know.
might have pulled that out of my ass.
Well, you sometimes when you pull things out of your ass, you get gold. As Renekton trying to reminisce about the good old days when you could actually fight this set, but those days have long gone. It is a close fight, however, and I was misspoken. Nice outplay there from Goo on you.
Yeah, the shield break, the ignite, definitely a potential to 1v1 that set fairly easily.
And it looks like we got a Fnatic Deathbrush spotted out by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow comes down. Doesn't net much as the Maokai just shrugs off the CC. They're starting the Baron on the side of the Vipers, and I know Set's dead, but he has teleport when he's up, and it's gonna take him more than 15 seconds to kill that.
Yeah, this might be what we in the business call a Hail Mary.
That is a popular sports term, yes. As the hook comes out, Circlet dashes away. You know, for an Azir jungle, he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, best Azir jungle in A.
Without Smite, yeah. And we've got a Smite mid lane Volibear. Wetcarn with a little bit of BM coming through onto this Renekton. It would be a lot easier for Renekton to 1v1 set if he took 2 seconds to read the W tooltip and use the shield breaking ability. Well said. Well said, Wetcarn.
Yeah, we have not seen a lot of pressure come out of Opal since they picked up this soul. And I mean, time is ticking down on this Elder buff. We actually saw them opt to disengage pretty hard from the Baron fight earlier, despite having the set coming up very shortly, maybe being able to turn that around with their lead.
Oof, that Azir damage. Granted, you don't have a whole lot of magic resist onto the Jarvan yet, but that's still shredding with only one Sand Soldier. I think honestly, Opal is at a point where they kind of want to just keep what they're trying to do is Misty trying to get defense onto the Goo on you. But I think what they're trying to do is get a team fight going around an objective, because if Azir can get his soldiers set up and stand in the back line, he's gonna shred this entire team.
Yeah, we saw it in that last big dragon fight where it's just so hard to get onto this backline. You have Nautilus peeling, you have Set ult, you have Set peeling, you have the Shurima shuffle able to just use the ultimate. as well and just push people away. You have the Ash ult and just so
And
many
you
ways
see a
to.
rush on the Baron here. They turn onto the Maokai and get a free kill, probably. But the Gargoyle Stoneplate prevents him from dying from the tank, and he just flashes away.
A lot of posturing around this Baron. We're gonna need
I
to
mean,
see Opal be very decisive here.
yep.
It's spelled doom for many a teams
The
when
ultimate
they
comes
split a
through.
fight.
The dragon comes down. The showstopper comes through. Vladimir goes onto the Azir. The Zonius prevents him from dying. Oh no! Renekton's coming through, thinking it's top lane. He got cocky there, and the fight appears to be going the side of the Opal. But Vladimir might have some other ideas, and it looks like after that team fight win, they're just gonna get a free Baron.
Free Baron, free Elder. They honestly, I don't know, 20 seconds, probably not enough to end the game. So this is probably the right call.
I agree. Reset. Well, I guess only Azir reset. He could TP in if he's absolutely needed. I say, yep. Go shove the mid wave a little bit and go get Exodia.
Exodia, commonly known as Baron Elder buffs.
Elder, well, I'd just call it just Elder Dragon Exodia, because, I mean, that old.
You have a lot of Exodias over the years. I mean, you have
Bronzodia. Bronzodia, which was, I believe, Malphite. I know it's Malphite and Mumu. I cannot think of any of the other components to Bronzodia.
And then you have the brand version of Exodia.
Butter Chicken, I don't get paid enough to do that kind of math. The Baron power play is a lot right now.
25 stack Magi on the 8-1 mid laner, definitely very OP.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to agree with Weak Karn there. I really want to see them pressure this out, especially with my version of Exodia here, Baron plus Elder buff. They really just need to force in.
And the smite comes down. And yeah, Jarvan's just dead here. If he lives, I'll... Yeah, exactly. That elder damage with the execute. I don't know if anyone can live with damage coming from more than one source on Opal. And it looks like we're sieging up around the mid lane here. It was the most pushed wave. There's no reason to go through the side lanes when you can just kind of run down a fight here.
Yeah, and Azir able to just shove down these towers at incredulous speeds.
Yeah, and we've got all ultimates aside from the showstopper. And this looks like it's going to be the Alamo here for the side of the Vipers. And call Opal Steve Irwin, because they've tamed this Viper in game 2.
Looks like we're going to get to see a game 3. I might have a chance to redeem myself in the skin game.
The fan favorite. And I'm going to jump over to the client real quick. I'm going to take, before we take our little break, let's see the damage charts. Renekton actually coming through with the most damage on the Viper squad. And Set coming through with the most damage on the side of Opal. Makes a little bit of sense with all the fighting those two were doing specifically.
Let's see here.
What is this?
That's your spec link.
Oh. Yes, I'm okay with clicking that. Are they? I'm gonna go ahead and get that set up and take a quick reprieve. And we are back, jumping right into Champ Select for Game 3 between Opal and the Striking Vipers.
Seeing a repeat of the bans from our game 2 with the Volibear power pickup once again. Definitely a fan favorite coming out of Opal.
A change from the first game, although they did pick the Volibear. The first game they first picked that Senna, and now the Jarvan coming through as we see the same jungle matchup 3 times in a row and the Leona coming out. I wonder if they're dare Poppy support. I know that would be beautiful from your side. Wait a second. Let's see what they're saying in chat. Oh, they're just saying that he's on J4 duty, which has been true. Not fun if you're not a fan of the champion, but you know, it's kind of always meta, even when one of the champions is always meta. We see the Ezreal coming out potentially, and it is locked in. Interesting. I would have liked to see the Ashe, but
I don't see Fufu playing very much Yumi, so I don't know if they'll opt for that here.
yeah, Ezreal Yumi classic combo, but it does not feel like a Fufu style champion. She does not have any hooks, and we see the Azir early lock in. And kind of smart there. Ooh, the Kassadin counter pick coming through. Has been banned in every other game. They're saying we're going to lock it in this time and not give you a chance to ban it. So we will see some new set or phase 2 bans coming from both teams. We won't see 4 more mid lane bans.
Now, the Azir showed very strong in the previous game, able to take champions like this J4, this Leona, and just, you know, with the mobility and the ult, just kind of go around and not care as much about what's going on. And interestingly, with both mid picks, we're going to see a big shakeup in second phase bans here.
Yeah. And I will say, Wetkarn, while I do agree that without the Thresh, Ashe is a little bit of a tough pick, but Royal Fufu is a Thresh aficionado, therefore he might have picked it. Well, Turtle, Royal Fufu typically sees bans on the champion, so
yeah,
that is who plays Thresh.
Maybe opting for that Nautilus specifically into the fasting Senna lane. I could definitely see that. The big ol' Kaisa pick.
Wet card. Turtle's my support. Don't worry, I put him on Thresh duty every game. And
is that what that team is? Is it Wet card?
I don't know.
Wetkarn.
Wetkarn? I don't know.
See, I popularized the WH and WH Turtle being World Holding Turtle.
Oh.
I officially claim that it's canon for your name now.
World Holding?
Yeah. You know, like the religion.
Will have. And we see the Ornn coming through. Has not been picked or banned in any game so far. And the Moo Cow coming through. And it looks like we're going to, if it does indeed get locked in, we're going to see three animal beef boys in front of this Ezreal and Azir.
Yeah, but I mean, you say that. I see a champion like Kassadin, and yeah, you can play around that to a degree, but potentially you reach a point in this game where Kassadin just kind of takes over.
No, Misty. It's not boo, Alistar. It's moo. And the Silas coming through in the top lane. From the side of the Striking Vipers as a somewhat counter to Ornn. There are some juicy ultimates there for him to steal. And those are the team comps coming into this third and final game. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to the client so we can see it. The picks and bans coming through in real time. And we got a slew of skins to guess this game there.
Yeah, a few repeats, but definitely a lot.
And any early guesses?
Ornn base skin.
Base skin? Okay.
Mukau Alistar.
Mukau, if he doesn't go Mukau, he's trolling. I agree with you on
Exactly.
that.
I think we're gonna see Striker Ezreal.
I see. I think we're gonna see. I would like to see the arcade because I like that skin, sound effects, and the recall animation. But I think it's gonna be the Battle Academia.
Battle Academia, another crowd favorite. I know Striker Ezreal used to be very high up there. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the OG favorite. Kaisa. What is it? It's like Battle Angel,
Yeah, that's her Bullet Angel. I think maybe.
Bullet Angel.
I
Yeah.
think we're gonna see the Invictus Gaming Kaisa, and
Okay.
then
So
the for Silas, I think we're gonna see the Talon Silas, aka Freljord. I think it makes him
Frel.
look like Talon.
I'm gonna go for base skin Silas.
Base skin Silas, that's probably what it's gonna be. But I already said my guess, so fair enough. Cassidon, I'm gonna say my heart is telling me Cosmic, the Cosmic one. My brain says Count Cassidon, even though I don't like that skin. So I think we're gonna see Count Cassidon. Leona skin's gonna be the same.
I'm gonna go for what your heart says. I'm gonna go for Cosmic.
I
I
see.
gotta I
That one
gotta
looks better. It just looks better.
I gotta take the risks to get the
Oh yeah,
points.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
so Mukau we agreed on.
yeah.
Uh,
I think that was the only one we agreed on besides the champions that have already been played.
did you agree with Orin base skin?
No, I said Thunderlord, so there's
Thunderlord.
another disagreement.
Mukau Alistar. We've seen Volibear
Prestige.
before. We've seen J4
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
before.
I don't need to know what you're gonna do if he picks Prestige Kaisa there, Wekarn. No. All right, fair enough. The Karma ban. Ezreal Karma would have been a nice lane to see with that. Brahm's
Yeah.
fun to watch, Misty, because he's got so many good-looking skins.
I know Prestige KDA is very popular, but so is Bullet Angel, and I don't know. I'm just feeling the Bullet Angel.
The Invictus Gaming one's pretty popular too. I like it,
True, true,
but
true, true. Honestly, I think all of Kai'Sa's skins are pretty clean. Like,
um, I I don't like the arcade.
I don't like how the arcade hairstyle looks, but
Yeah.
I don't like its splash art, I guess, but in game, I think effects are nice.
But yeah, the splash art looks like it's trying to look like Riven.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. It's like,
As we see a tittling support bait in the chat, some flame coming through on the Misty. Misty saying how it's boring or it's boring to watch a Braum play, and looks like Laws comes out and says this is coming from a Janna one trick. So, a little bit of playful banter coming through from the chat here.
indeed, 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 indeed. Let me see. Did we hit all the skins? Yeah, we've
Mm-hmm.
seen Leona before. We've seen Jafar before. We've seen Volibear before. So we should have 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. Actually, we've seen Azir before as well. So that's part of my 7.
Yeah.
So we
So
have we have
six.
six contentions. Although we agree on Muka Alistar.
So really, you got to beat me 3 out of 5 to win.
Yeah, don't remind me.
That's why you build up them early leads so you can gloat a little, and then that's gonna bite me in the ass. But
I mean, we went through it kind of fast. I thought we were about to jump in. We're at a 3-minute delay.
oh shoot, we did speed run our typical game there.
So yeah, comps.
What?
Casa wins.
Yeah. Vipers are looking to scale. They're looking to scale and thrive here. And they're waiting for that level 16 out of the Cassidon where he can just play delete key. Silas pretty strong. Pretty strong lane into the Ornn. Kaisa Leona into Alistar Ezreal. I feel like without jungle interaction, that is a good point, Wekarm. There is quite a bit of AP damage coming out of the side of the Vipers with 3 Giga tanks. That is a good point. But, Kassadin and Castlewin do go hand in hand.
Yeah,
Iowa, give me a little insight on this bot lane because I really don't see any. Well, aside from a big misstep or jungle intervention, there shouldn't be any kills in lane, right?
yeah, neither of these are what you would consider a conventional like power lane. Um, both the supports are definitely opting for a little bit more team fight oriented styles here. Uh, Leona not having a great time eating into Alistar. Alistar not having a great time going super aggressive straight into a Kaisa Leona. So definitely both of them have to be very careful, and it's going to be very dependent on other lanes' ability to pressure. Importantly, Azir is going to start scaling faster than Kassadin and potentially being able to push him in. So
Yeah.
while yeah,
He's no late
Kassadin's
game
going to
slouch. Yeah. Azir's no late game slouch. It
no
looks
late
like.
game slouch, and early on in that like 4 to 5 range, Azir is going to be able to shove that lane. If we see some early roams, maybe potentially come out of him,
Or just
some
lane
dives
control
or
and keep this Kassadin down as long as possible. We got a highlighted message coming from Buttered Chicken. Looks like he's starting a bit of a. Looks like he's trying to start a riot with the no Evelyn, no Trinimir picks. I know those are two of his favorite picks, but I don't see them fitting into either team comp. So I'm sorry, bud.
so butter chicken. What are we burning down? I'm all for a riot.
Yeah, what are we going to be burning? And he goes quiet. He's been silenced.
Wickhard making a good point. You know, Leona could potentially look for something on the Ezreal with the E cooldowns if they're playing around it properly. But even then, you have a lot of potential misplay into that. I mean, if you're very confident in it, sure.
Oh,
Uh, but I mean, a knock up headbutt in the tower can easily spell doom, and
very
uh,
disappointed out of this Alistar. Very disappointed in the skin choice. I hate to cut you off, but disappointment out of this
look,
Alistar.
looks like you went up plus one more. We had a lot of back and forth this
Well,
time.
we had yeah.
I got the base skin Ornn, you got the Freljord, I got the Cosmic, you got the IG. Uh, I lost. Oh, you got the Battle Academia.
Mm-hmm.
I am Leia.
It's all right. It's all right. We go ahead and count us in, and we'll get
What are
this
the
game
Chad
through.
support? Oh, I completely agree with what Law said. Poppy is the most Chad support of all.
All right. On that note, I'm gonna count us in 3, 2, 1,
Oh, sorry, I'm
go.
not even paying attention. Hold on.
Oh, oh. All right. Well, we'll pause and go back. So, Iowa can, you
I
know.
had a question about a Chad support. You know me, I'm just gonna dive right into it.
That is
Sorry.
true. All right. Now you count it in since we're waiting for you to be ready.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Had to change it up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was just rolling. I was already in the game. I was like,
I
yeah,
will
this is gonna
say
be.
I do know a couple people out there that would agree with me when I say that another Chad support would be Bard.
No. So is
Oh,
Poppy.
Wetkarn wants to know how is Poppy a Chad support when Pantheon support is viable?
Poppy is the ultimate Chad, especially into something like Leona. Like, you just make that champion not a champion. Obviously, you've never seen me. If you're talking about Poppy, you've never seen me play Poppy if you think I need an AD carry with me.
Yeah. I can confirm have played some flex queue with this man on the Poppy. He goes in without any abandon or with reckless abandon and does not give a dang if you're there or not.
And it works.
The best part is Iowa's unorthodox champion pool allows his top laner to get counter pick a lot of the time because he plays quite a few top laners in the support role.
Indeed. I also play mid laners and junglers.
Not
I'm
supports
quite
though. I'm just
I'm
kidding.
quite I'm quite the flexer.
And we see a conventional start under the watchful eye of Opal as they see the see the start for the Jarvan. Looks like just some standard pathing. It looks like Jarvan's gonna go in for the blue steal here on the Volibear. I would really like it. Butter Chicken said Tyler on Orn duty.
Not even getting a word on it, just kind of postured over there and then almost backed off.
Yeah, he didn't even get a word down. I think he was. Thinking about it. We see the flash coming in. First blood going through to the Leona, and I was dang wrong in Champs Look when I said nothing was gonna happen in this lane.
Well, that's that level 2 power spike. Like, that can happen in any lane. Um, just one side hitting 2, going all in, looking for something. The other side not quite being able to scuff it out. If that was a level 2 versus level 2, that'd be very, very different.
Very true. Very true. But Ezreal just gonna play it safe a little bit and get his items.
I'll
Bella's
decide not
breath
to be
knockup
mean.
comes through, and
But
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think Wickhart, you meant to say woof woof, not rough rough.
Love it. As we see Tyler in this Ornn pick, kind of doing what Ornn did, or doing what Ornn does best. He's been nerfed a couple times, but it doesn't matter. The dash away, the abscond, and the abstract coming through and providing ridiculous amount of damage. Still
Yeah,
has
I
that
mean,
Kingslayer available.
you say what Ornn does best, and yet Silas almost does it better. As a popular counter pick, we see time and time again where Silas's are able to just punish these Ornn picks, and which is what you really need to do into this lane to stop any sort of bonus coming from those ornaments.
Yeah, the biggest thing for the reason as to why it's a counter so hard is because he
You can
does the
still heal.
damage and he heals with not only his Kingslayer, which I did see a nice Reddit post as to questioning the name of the ability as to why it's called Kingslayer anymore, but also that Conqueror. Ooh, the mid lane gank from the Leona doesn't net a kill, but it does provide a little bit of that pressure release from the Kassadin.
Yeah, that's that same pressure I was talking about. We're in that window where Azir is starting to push up this wave and could start looking to transition bot lane. And Leona just kind of roaming up, taking some of that edge off and cutting out that possibility almost. Your typical
Volibear,
top lane, nothing happening.
yeah, not a whole lot other than trades, but uh, the Reddit post I saw the other day about Silas when he was originally came out, his W did do execute damage, which is makes sense as to why it's called Kingslayer, but now it no longer does that, so the name kind of doesn't really make sense anymore because now it just heals you for a million damage and does a little bit of damage.
Some cheeky dragon action going on here. You may see some early team fighting action.
Oof, FG Shadow coming, getting super low, but the smite gets him quite a bit of damage. It looks like the TP's
TP's coming in. Both sides.
From both sides. Royal Fufu is going to be the sacrificial lamb for his team. Volibear gets away just barely as the Cloud Drake gets secured on the side of Opal. Leona's kind of poking her head into somewhere she might not want to necessarily.
Yeah, and we can see this Cassidon roaming up, trying to look for any pick he can get here.
He is level
Uh,
6, the first of
yeah,
his couple power spikes.
Joe may be caught out here.
Does trade a kill back. Assist goes on to the Cassidon. He would have liked to see that be a kill for him. But now we've got Silas laning against this. Laning against Azir. Steals the Azir ult before Azir can ult. Azir just hit 6. The trading goes through between the Corrupting Potion and the Kingslayer. He's healthy. Ignite comes down from the Alistar, and that's a shutdown onto the
Stuns
Kaisa.
for days.
A little bit of an overstay from the Kaisa might have been because she saw the Jarvan there in the river, didn't know where the Volibear was till after the Alistar had his way with her. The
Oh my.
the Emperor's Divide comes in. Nice dodge out of Circlet, but the flash comes through. The flash comes out of the Leona. Can he be saved? No, he cannot. Circlet gonna die alongside FG Shadow. And Royal Fufu forced to use his flash defensively as the Abscond Abduct comes through. Both Call of the Forge Gods come through,
beautiful flash.
forcing the flash out of Goo on you. Ornn with the big outplay in the top lane. Leona getting a little too big for her britches walking up. She doesn't have any sums. Tyler showing his proficiency on the Ornn.
You say a little too big for bridges, but she has pumped a lot of gold into this Cassidon, which is exactly where this team wants it. As Striking Vipers is looking to get in this, Silas is doing rather well. Bot lane is coming out relatively even, and as big of a threat as Azir is, giving a lot of kills over to this Cassidon, or even assist, any sort of gold he can pick up is huge for this Vipers.
Actually does have about a 400 gold lead and probably about a half level of XP lead onto this Azir. I don't think there is a way to check XP, and we see G-Friend Kenny sitting in the mid lane again. I can't say I hate the play. Looks like FG Shadow's coming to pick a fight with his Jarvan. 1v1, he does not want that fight. Ornn comes down. We see no Call of the Forge God available, otherwise that's a more contestable fight. The dash away, the Searing Charge gets him away. The Bellows Breath comes through. Absconded Duck, the stun comes down. The trading's going to go back and forth. But without an ultimate coming through on the Ornn, I don't think any kills are going to be had.
Yeah, just your typical top lane trading. Hit each other a little bit, walk away.
Yep. Despite the 0-2, he is able to stay. Circlet is able to stay up in CS.
Yeah, that 0-2 almost doesn't show. Just with his ability to be basically a huge backline presence alongside Israel, you have so much ability to keep people away from you. And Volibear diving in, Alistar knock up and knock away. You have Ornn ulti. Just this huge front line to sit in front of both of these massive damage dealers.
Yep, and as we venture away from top island, it looks like both junglers are posturing towards his bot side. Fufu was thinking about stepping up to try to ward Tribrush, but decided against it. Probably a good call. Looks like there's going to be a lane gank. The True Shot Barrage comes through to help wave clear. The E is on cooldown, importantly. They do spot out that Jarvan. To answer your question, Misty, I know Butter did kind of answer it, but Ornn cannot headbutt both Rams. However, there is a couple of interesting interactions with the Silas ult. On a Mordekaiser, if he ults the Mordekaiser target while Mordekaiser's got in the Shadow Realm, oh, hold that thought. We got a fight coming through. The Unstoppable comes through onto the Alistar to prevent him from dying. The Stormbringer comes through. The damage comes down. The fights come through. Azir gets a kill. Ezreal gets a kill. Cassidon is kind of just wrecking the fight here as McTrump was forced to flash away. And we see a 2-for-2 jungle and support trade in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and that
Importantly,
was
Cassidy did get a kill there.
that was a huge turn though. I mean, it was almost like Alistar was caught out, but between that Volibear ulti just rampaging back in, Alistar squeaking out with his ultimate, it was a very interesting fight.
Yeah, the Stormbringer there really brought the storm, and that's an important Drake, honestly, for this Opal squad to be able to pick up for the mountain. Seeing as how there's not gonna be a mountain soul this game, but allowing their tanks to get any extra stats is going to be key for them being able to withstand the damage coming through on this Viper squad. Now back to the Silas point I was saying, if a Mordekaiser has ulted someone into the Shadow Realm and a Silas on the enemy team uses a stolen Mordekaiser, all 4 people will be in the same Shadow Realm. As we see Call the Forge God coming through, setting up a possible gank, the Abscond dodges away from the possible CC coming through. Looks like we're just trading, doing a little bit of plate taking there. Alistar might be in trouble as he goes to here. The EQ comes through, does not get the knockup.
Yeah, Fufu just gonna walk out, but just a lot of pressure coming to get onto this bot lane like we saw in game 1.
Yep, and I mean, game 1 and game 2, really, both sides, the team that was ahead was winning through bot lane.
And we almost saw this both times where Morn almost chooses a lane. You know, he pre-establishes I'm gonna be here all the time, and he sticks to his guns through and through.
Yeah. You know, keep it simple, and it's hard to screw up a plan. You know. Got a little bit of an XP advantage here as the stun comes down. Doesn't really take a whole lot of damage. The Shurima shuffle into the tower as the ultimate from Leona stuns up the Azir, allowing him not to do damage. The Cassidins dives onto the backline of Alistar. Stormbringer into the Jarvan ult. Cataclysm does not net any kills. Cassidin does get shut down from the tower shot he took onto the Volibear, and we see a 1-for-1 of mid laners. We're doing a lot of trading this game.
A lot of training onto these scalers, and it's almost coming down like what Karn was saying, and you have these hyper tanks like Volibear, like Ornn, that are just gonna start beefing up and causing problems across the board. But you still have that Kassadin that is able to potentially just come in and combine with a Jarvan, combined with a Leona once you lock someone down. Just really obliterate this Azir and Ezreal combo off the map.
Yeah, we already see the Abyssal Mask, which is pretty standard into a Silas lane, but it's even more effective when the enemy mid laner is also an AP damage dealer. And I know Misty was calling for it in Champ Select, but it does not look like Jarvan is going for that full AD build, is going for the tank build.
So I would like to see full AP J4 personally.
That is there was a time, I think it was last year at one point, it actually did get played in support in Korea as a AP Jarvan support.
Yeah, the flagging wagon. Rip, he went CDR.
I think he's just going for the early completion onto that Nashers. But yeah, the Solus onto this Kaisa, which the dive comes through, the Alistar ult coming down, is not tanky enough when you have 3 beef boys hitting you.
And just a complete lockdown. That man could not move.
And they didn't even have to. They didn't even have the Stormbringer there to turn off the tower. And this is the Kassadin being able to do some, pretty good things onto this Azir, showing why it's considered a counter pick by some. But on the other side of the map, you've got the three Bash Bros taking the Rift Herald.
Yeah, we're gonna see Ezreal kind of come up here, make this. Oh, we have the TP coming in from
this flash stun onto
Silas.
the Kaisa. She has to use her ult to get away. The Cataclysm comes down. The Stormbringer out this time, and it looks like the Bash Bros are gonna win another fight. The flash from the Jarvan nets the kill onto the Ornn, but Azir getting the inevitable delayed on him by Morn. Don't necessarily like that stopwatch choice there. Uh, Overall, positive win. Oh, trade here. Doesn't look like the fight's done. The tanks are running at you.
Yeah, and we still have the Shurima Shuffle available.
The stun comes down. He does get the ultimate away. The stun comes down. The or I can't even think of the ult right now. Holy moly, I'm out of it. But that team fight, the delayed team fight, Ornn coming through gets the knock up almost.
And that's again where we just see this insane amount of lockdown coming down from these beef boys, and the ability of Azir to just take that threat and say, "Get away from me."
And Kassadin getting a little overconfident after hitting the level 11 mark. Takes quite a bit of damage. But Circlet cannot eat that many tower shots. Great comment coming through from Wekarn. He said the two ADCs in that last fight went for a game of who can position worse. Sadly, the only losers were the viewers. Not necessarily wrong, but we did, honestly, at least for the side of Opal, the game isn't about the 80 carries. As we see a headbutt knockup, can the stun come down onto this Kassadin? No, it cannot. And save him. It looks like he's going to get a double kill. Oof.
That's rough.
That is rough.
Also, Misty with a good point. This is Season 10. 80 carries are nothing.
Yeah.
Paper bags flying in the wind.
Yeah, the Casa win getting online early. Got the Archangels, got the 8 stacks on the Roa. 4-1 scoreline. At this point, we just hope the Beef Boys can be healthy enough to withstand his damage. I see a second Catalyst onto Ornn. Either that was a mistake or he's going Rod of Ages on Ornn.
I love it.
Either way, I'm interested to see how it turns out. Kassadin making Joe question whether or not he wants to live.
That is potentially the one man that could have killed him there. One missed Q is really the difference there in that fight is skill shots versus, homing attacks.
Speaking of skill shots, the Zenith Blade does go wide. As we see another top lane fight between Tyler and Goo on you, and it's a little more the same. The knockup comes out. The Call of the Forge God being stolen by the Silas does not elect to use it. I think he knows he's a dead man walking. And Kingslayer brings him back to a quarter health, but at the end of the day, it does not matter when Volibear can press W. And it looks like we might have a second to catch our breaths, but who knows?
Constant fighting.
Yeah.
Looks like top lane's gonna be casually blown down by this Casa win as Ornn is looking to ramp up into his first set of upgrades here soon.
And the blue's stolen away by the Jarvan. Did cost him his smite, but with no neutrals up, it won't matter. The Mermana is completed from the Kaisa, so she will start to do a little bit more damage here. Butter Chicken just lost his mind. Well, if you find it, bud, let me know. We see a couple resets coming from the side of the Jarvan and Leona, more than likely resetting to get more pinks to set up vision around potential dragon in a minute 30. We see the Call of Forge God coming out of the Silas, more than likely just due to the fact that it was running out of cooldown. No real incentive to use it, but, sometimes it's fun to do it anyways. And Wekarn is going to lose his mind if this Ezreal does not go Maul for the third item. Well, he's got the setup with the null magic, so we will see. We will see if that remains true. And I gotta say, I agree with Wekarn on this. The Death Dance had it been a couple patches
A-
ago when it was
Yeah,
absolutely busted.
after the nerfs, currently I think Maul is the way to go in this game.
Yeah. Now, yeah, like Arwen and I were saying, if this was what 2 patches ago, that
Even
absolutely
just one
busted.
patch
Or
ago,
1 patch. It was
'cause
okay. It
it's
was.
been nerfed twice in a row, right?
I believe so. But yeah, even last patch, the damage that burst reduction on ranged wasn't hit as hard as it was. It would have been nice, but I would like to see the Maul the Malordius onto the Ezreal, blocking that burst damage from Cassidon, and even the Silas. Silas does quite a bit of burst damage himself.
Four
And
TPs up across the board. Importantly, though, Ornn able to stop Cassidon's TP, and I don't know if that's a fight that Cassidon actually wins.
with 2 levels up, I gonna hard disagree with you there, bud. Is he building a double Abyssal Mask?
No way,
No.
right?
There's no way. The headbutt pull comes through onto 3 targets. The Zenith Blade comes down onto the Ezreal, but he just ease out as the Cassidon teleports coming through. Can Ornn stop it? He cannot, and this Cassidon is about to run rampant through the team fight here. I think we see essentially an ace. Essentially an ace because the Ornn was nowhere to be found. Did get his TP canceled, I believe, by the
Yep.
Cassidon Q.
Yep.
And it looks like they're going straight for a 22-minute Baron here with double Ocean. I don't see why they can't do it. This Cassidon showing why it was banned in the first 2 games.
Indeed it is. Same time, Silas coming out strong there in that fight as well. They did a lot of cleanup that we didn't really get to see a lot of on screen as it was jumping back and forth between that fight and the top lane there. But yeah, just an overall big negative there for Opal getting set back a lot.
Yeah.
Tying up here in Dragons.
And
Striking Vipers pulling ahead in the gold league quite a bit.
I hate to cut you off, but it does look like he is in fact going double Abyssal Mask. If someone can rationalize that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. Maybe it's a bug. Maybe that's actually a Spectre's Cowl and he's going for... Oh, wait, no, because that doesn't even build on a Negatron Cloak anymore. I don't know. I can't rationalize a benefit to double Abyssal Mask because it doesn't upgrade both times. And he's just throwing away 1,000 gold right now, essentially. I'm actually confused.
Very, very interesting. Emphasis on the int.
Well, Wetkarn, do you have any ideas to why this second Abyssal Mask is going to make the difference?
Yes, please someone smarter than me explain, because I am dumbfounded.
Someone do the math. Yeah. Oh, Andy's going Death's Dance instead of the Maw here. Ezreal giving the big boom to Wetkarn. Flash headbutt pulverize coming through the Call of Force God comes down, knockup comes through, the Cataclysm comes down onto an Azir turret. I don't know if he's gonna want to sit there. Does take him a minute to take the damage. Kaisa stuck between a rock and a hard place. We did get a couple shutdowns, and that's a beneficial fight for the side of Opal as they only lose Alistar.
That Azir turret coming in clutch in both of these games.
Okay, Misty, I do understand that 2 + 2 = 4, but why? Oh, as we see an abduct abscond as the stun comes down, Volibear, ult stolen, Stormbringer brought to the Ezreal.
Terrifying.
Absolutely terrifying. As yeah, but having 2 of them?
Do they both upgrade?
I don't think it upgrades both. I guess we'll find out when... Oh, it does upgrade both.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'll be darned. I guess, I mean... He does need to get some sort of armor, otherwise that Kai'Sa's just going to run through him. But the headbutt pulverize comes through, but he presses R and gets away. He is level 16.
Yeah, and the more of these oceans they rack up, the worse this is gonna start getting.
A defensive Shurima coming through. Emperor's Divide, rather, to make sure Caston has a hard time getting on him. The Flash coming through. Flash Ultimate. That's a very yikes coming through from Circlet. And this game's looking kind of doomed. I hate to say it, but it's looking a little doom and gloom on the side of Opal.
I don't know if it's complete doom and gloom.
Not over, but it's
definitely looking not as optimal.
Not looking good for the boys in blue. I kind of get Morello this time, though, Wetcarn, because no one else really has heal cutting at the moment, and that Silas does heal a ridiculous amount. But I might have liked to see a Banshee's Veil first, but as we set up here for a potential dragon play in 18 seconds.
Yeah, a very big dragon here.
Cassidon setting up a flank. Or actually, I think he's just going to chase down this Azir. Circlet, you better start. Oh no, done it. And oh! Does he get away? He does not get away. Dominating performance coming through Pure Genesis. But while he's not there, and he does TP in, and Pure Genesis gives some pure genocide to the side of Opal. Although the Quadra kill KS coming through from McTrump, and I think we see a forfeit. And yeah, that's the series. Not the outcome I would have liked to have seen, but and Wetcarn's vowing to beat the Vipers for us next week. I appreciate that. Maybe don't let him get that Cassidon. It's pretty
maybe got a little overconfident in the Azir, didn't want to lose it away. But definitely opened yourself up to that counter pick.
Yeah.
Casa win.
Casa win does indeed win.
Yeah, and that was two games that just, mid lane diff one way or the other. We saw game 2 where everything was just completely dominated by Azir, throwing up a very similar kill line to that Cassidon.
Yeah. Game 1 was all about that Maokai, as Misty can tell you. Could not be killed, will not be killed. I think he died maybe 3 times, but had 11 kills on a tank. Game 2, as you were saying, all about Circlet in his ear. And game 3 was all about Pure Genesis coming through. It's a rough ending there for the season on Opal, but hey, you made playoffs. It didn't look too shabby. Put up a good fight, and I guess take some of the lessons in the next split or season, however they're differentiated.
Yep. But all can be said about that. Good season overall across the board.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Iowa. How do you feel? How do you feel knowing that your former team made the playoffs?
I don't know, man. This should put me in.
Yeah, honestly, that Poppy counter pick could have came in huge in that game 3. Shout casting and playing. I'd love to see it.
It'd be a little hard, not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's possible.
Only a little.
Yeah, only a little hard. Well, I think that's it for me. I think we're gonna call it a broadcast for Anonymous Esports. I am Gav Dougie Fresh. That is Dougie Fresh, not Doogie Misty. And with me as always.
Hi, disappointed. I'm dead.
Well, on behalf of Disappointed in Myself, I'd like to say thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you guys, I think, this Thursday with some
Indeed, Thursday with
ZGG action. Amethyst
ZZG Gold
Royale.
Rumble, yeah, Royale.
Amethyst trying to bounce back from a rough week last week, but, you know, to,
Come out, support our boys in purple.
purplish pink, you know. But we are going to call it a night. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for interacting in the chat. Have a lovely evening, however you choose to spend it. And we will catch you on Thursday.